And 3, 2, 1. Welcome in TNCRadio.live. Happy to have you all with us here on a Friday night. We're live on a Friday night. This is Driver Nation. And I'm Tom, he's Steve, and he's Gary. We're going to be here with you for the next couple of hours talking all sorts of things around the gig economy. We're being joined by people not only here on the, listening on the radio side, but also those out there on YouTube. Steve, they're showing us waiting. Okay, are they in now? Yeah, I guess everybody's in now. So that's good. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good, man. Are they? Who's in? Who's out?
It was
talking about YouTube.
Waiting. It was saying 7 people were waiting. Now they're all watching, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
And Gary, how are you, sir?
Oh, pretty well.
Good. So we got all sorts of things to talk about tonight, don't we, Steve? We always do.
We do.
Some good, some bad, some indifferent. Let's see where do we want to start tonight? I guess I want to start because everybody talks about it and nobody does anything with it. California, remember they used to laugh that it was going to break off and slide into the Pacific Ocean? Well, now the Pacific Ocean is just like going to wash over California. I mean, this is unbelievable, the amount of rain that they've gotten. What is this turned? Is this turned into snow for you, Steve? Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Become a thing?
I'm loving it. I'm catching the greatness of it, like the pow. Like good powder. And my buddies up, like I was saying last week, my friend up in Truckee, which is south or north Lake Tahoe, north Lake Tahoe. Also, like they got so much snow there they couldn't even enjoy it, and that's a great place to live with Heavenly and Alpine and all those places up there, Kirkwood, North Star. Those are great resorts. There's some great backcountry, but they couldn't even go enjoy it. The resorts were in avalanche danger.
Amazing.
But we everything dies off a bit. Maybe not sometimes, but usually it dies off a bit by the time it hits the Rockies. We usually catch the snow part of it, not the ice. And so, we've been getting some good snow.
That's good. Well, there are areas of California that have reservoirs that have been empty for 6+ years, empty, and now they're 80% full. And so from that perspective, it's a good thing. But there's been, of course, a lot of deaths and drownings and those kinds of things. And so we remind everybody, as always, if you don't know how deep it is, turn around, don't drown. If you're not sure, it's stupid to find out, oh, this was too high for me.
And what is it that they throw off the fishing boats, like in Jaws? Is it chub? Or
chum?
Chum.
Yeah, so if you're canoeing in Santa Cruz, make sure to take some chum with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that last week. They got sharks swimming in the water there.
Right. Sharknado 1 through 20 were funny until they're not, huh?
Exactly. So, Gary, what's been going on with you, sir?
Not a lot. Son's finally off to the Navy. Well, soon to be off to the Navy. So that's good. Yeah.
Did he get the job he wanted?
Not exactly, but I think it's a better job because it didn't require him to get greasy. So he wanted to do some type of construction for the Navy.
Right.
But that's such a high demand that it's iffy if you can get it. So he's going to be, aviation maintenance administrator.
Ooh.
So he's in charge of like all the planes maintenance and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
So
I wanted him to pick something that came out to a real, civilian type job after he's done with the military that he can turn into a long-term career.
Right, and that certainly will.
Right,
That's
exactly.
So very cool.
Yeah. Other than that, going pretty well for me. Just working.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
When he starts, how long will? I mean, does he go right out to sea and do they?
No. He does 10 weeks of boot camp. So that'll put him somewhere around May. And then after that, I think he has 11 weeks of tech school. And then his job is only 50-50 as far as on a ship versus off the ship. You know, some are like 100%, some are 75%. His is about 50-50 because I guess they got certain platoons they're assigned to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Navy doesn't have infantry, but what they call, I guess, their planes or their platoons or something like that. You know, their helicopters and airplanes and things like that. So I guess he's assigned to a certain platoon, and wherever those airplanes and helicopters go, that's where he goes.
Okay. And they rotate. So.
Right. And they all rotate in and out, things like that. So.
Okay. Very cool. Now, when he goes to school, he be going to Chicago?
Well, that's where boot camp is. I'm not sure where his tech school's at.
That's where the #1 Navy tech school is, in Chicago.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's the only place they go to boot camp, but I also know that they also have one in Florida as well, a tech school.
Okay.
So I'm not sure which one he's going to go to.
Does he he doesn't have any say in it though?
No.
Yeah.
No, he don't get a pick.
Right.
This is the military, man. It's not an independent contractor.
I know, but before you go out to sea and all that, I didn't know if maybe they would let you pick.
No, you just tell them. You say, look, I'm going to go to Florida for school. I don't want you arguing with me about it. You just tell them.
I just signed up for this for the cruise, man.
That's right, man. Yeah.
Work.
That's right. I just want to see the Philippines.
Yeah. Like I got my luggage. Where's the cruise ship?
That's right, man. And I want a window I want a window, on my ship, and balcony. Sit out there on the balcony, drink some of those. Somebody could bring me one of those drinks with an umbrella in it. Great. Hey, you there in the white uniform? You in the white uniform?
Yeah.
Hey, lower level 3. I mean, I did so much work on the cruise ships that I know like what goes on in the lower levels, like the people who actually work the ship, the 4,000 who work these big cruise ships. Because whenever I've had to stay on the ship for laser, if I need a bunk, usually I just work through the night. But if I need a bunk for a little bit, I got to go down in the underfloors. And man, those are weird when you flip down those beds because they're on the wall. They flip down, and I'm all good with all that kind of stuff. Things don't scare me, but what does scare me is when the metal wall goes and bends in, and you're like, dude, wait, I'm not sure that should be doing that. I mean, literally, you could be laying there like the walls come and touches your face. You're like, what the no,
Steve, you're just waiting on that one bolt. And bing.
I mean, I know it happens constantly. I mean, throughout the whole time the ship's moving, that's happening. And that's the way they're designed. It's freaky to be there and look at it.
Rideshare Lisa checks in. Rideshare Lisa.
And Janet, too. Hi, Janet.
Yeah,
in New Zealand.
Rideshare Lisa, stage 3.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We got a couple things we could talk about tonight. Part of it's I've had, I'm kind of I've been the opposite of most people's start to the gig month the year. This is notoriously a slow month. We always say market to market, but I don't think we need to in this case. January is just slow across the deck, but I have had a good week.
Good.
There's some bad news. However, one thing I can say for sure, and Tom and Gary too, and we've been talking about it somewhat on the Thursday roundtable, but we've been talking on here for a while about Massachusetts, Minnesota, what could happen in Pennsylvania, and something started already happening in Pennsylvania last week. Massachusetts is happening. It's just dragging its feet on how it's going to lay it out. But Minnesota just kicked it into overdrive yesterday. So it's like exactly what we've been warning some of you is, I guess, my point.
Maybe you should give some background context.
I'm just saying, hopefully some of you guys have followed us with that. And so it won't come as this big, wait, what? Because I think people are going to have that kind of moment. Like, what are you talking about? Because I still talk to people who don't know about what has happened in California at all. Not only do they not know, most people who know about Prop 22 don't even know what it was to do.
Well, that's because they're not from California, so it doesn't affect them currently.
Right,
so,
but wouldn't you, I guess, me as a gig worker, when you're hearing about the biggest state in the country with the biggest population, most gig workers and stuff, I would wonder, wait, why are they getting this?
well,
No
most
matter
people,
where I lived.
but most people don't follow California, though. I mean,
Well,
like people, like there's people that doesn't even know there's flooding going on out there. They don't know that there's sharks in the streets.
which
we
actually don't know that. We just probably. I mean, at least a couple of those tiger sharks.
But a lot of people they stay in their little realm. If it doesn't affect them, I'm not going to worry about it until it does.
I mean, I guess you're right, because people didn't know about the PRO Act. People don't know about, or actually, the one thing I will say is that most people are aware of Biden's plan. That's for sure.
That's because that's national.
Well, so was the PRO Act.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like that deals with the president, so
yeah.
Well, that's why a lot of people know about that stuff.
Well, okay, so let's roll it back a little bit here, you guys. This is what we're talking about. What we've been talking about on here for a long time is not going to a W-2 model and not going to an employment model in the gig economy, because it's not even meant. It was never meant to be that, and it won't survive as that. And I'm not being doom and gloom guy. I'm just being honest. So they're having to make some adjustments and find some meeting ground. And it seems Prop 22-ish, or they're going to take it way too far. And it might make gig companies leave states. I mean, like Minnesota kicked into overdrive today. It was like yesterday, they announced the plan to, you know what, we need to make sure that rideshare drivers are getting paid better. And then all of a sudden, 4 other people in the government there were like, I agree. Like, this had been talked about at length with these people. They were just waiting for that moment. They busted out. This is how they busted it out. And now they're doing the same damn thing that Seattle did or Washington, but they're going to do it in a much harsher way. And they're going to allow the unions behind it. They're starting with rideshare drivers. Rideshare drivers need to be paid more. Now, we said that was going to happen. Mark my words. In about 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to be, you know what? Delivery drivers need it too. There has not been there's only been 2, but California and then Washington both started off as rideshare only and instantly made it about delivery drivers too. So I already know that's their plan. I already know what's coming. And it's and that state and Massachusetts both want unions.
Well, but theirs doesn't benefit the rideshare drivers.
I know, and that's the thing, man. Like
it started out that way, but then they kind of got like screwed out of everything
because it started off as a working with the TLC to try and get them up to the same standards as a taxi driver would have, which made sense to everybody. Why wouldn't they be? Whether they're using a taxi or their own car, why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they get the same as the TLC cars? And I always thought same thing. Well, I guess I really, this is one of those things where when I first heard about, I was talking to Sergio when we first heard about the Washington going last year and doing this, and it was the same thing. We're going to do it for just the rideshare drivers. I have no idea why even me, like I know better. I even was like, really? Oh, that's awesome. They're just going to do the rideshare drivers because that makes sense. And yet, what is it, Governor Inslee? I mean, this guy, I can't trust this guy at all. So, I mean, like, why did I even believe him for a second? I mean, the minute he announced it, he's like, you know what? All gig workers get it.
Well, can you name one politician we can trust?
No, but I mean, like, this guy I really don't trust. He's a scumbag. I mean, I think most people can agree with that. I know he's a Democrat. I'm not saying Democrats are bad. I'm not saying Republicans are good. Nothing like that. I'm saying Inslee's a tool.
So do you think that they always shift from rideshare drivers only to, all gig workers because there's a fit? Like other people are just
I just think it's a net that's already established. They think they can sell politicians on the rideshare part more. Like, hey, the TLC already exists. Why shouldn't these drivers have this right? Then they get other people on board, and as soon as they do, they say, oh, you know what? We forgot. We also need to include all the other gig workers because they drive too. And they start using terminology like they drive too. they do. It's like, but they're not driving people and they're not meeting any of the criteria for the TLC. So you need to determine, and you should have. And I guess Gary made a good point. Which politicians can we trust? There are some we can try and trust some a little. I mean, otherwise, all the states would be doing this, which is a bad idea. But luckily, we do have some people who fight bad ideas.
So, Steve, let me back you up just a little bit here, or back us up just a little bit. You posted an article today on UberLiftDrivers.com, and it talks about, let's see, the title is Uber Lyft Drivers Call for Protections. Minneapolis City Council takes first steps. It talks about how yesterday morning, 3 city council members gave notice at the regular meeting that planned to introduce an ordinance that would give rideshare drivers stronger protections around pay, safety, and basic worker rights. And they've got this Yahoo on here, who is the president of the Minnesota Uber Lyft Driver Association, the MULDA. This guy,
he said Mudface.
Completely by accident, slip of the tongue. This guy is a joke. First of all, it makes it sound like he represents all the drivers in Minneapolis, and that's bullcrap. But the thing that really caught my attention down here was this quote from Stephen Cooper, who is the Mudface's attorney, and I'm sorry, the MULDA's attorney. In almost any business you work for, whether it's Target or 3M, the company has the responsibility to provide the equipment for your job. Here, the drivers have to buy the cars. The drivers have to repair the cars. Well, no crap, Sherlock.
But also that sentence, I'm looking at it right now too. That sentence makes no sense because Target and 3M, you're an employee. Rideshare, you're an independent contractor.
But that's
pretty clear. You can read up on it. You can Google it and go to any of the sites you even want to read the definition from. They all match.
That's the whole thing, is that he's drawing conclusions here that are inappropriate to draw, given where we are. So, total mess out there. I'm going to take.
But what I really don't like about this is, and you got to kind of. I'm putting together all the other articles I was reading last year leading up to this stuff. This is kind of how I was even told by Kim Cavan, and how I was reading everything I was reading, how it would be deployed. It's almost happening to a T. Mm-hmm. Like, it'll be introduced, then you're going to have 3 or 4 other people back at the same day it's introduced. It's going to sound like they had no idea. This is a great idea. Let's do this. And this is what's happening.
Well, all right. Yeah, I tell you what, I got to take a break on the radio side, so let me do that, and we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Stay right there.
Yeah, Joe, that's the point, is that when one state creates and implements, I don't know what you're calling a successsul system, because I don't think we've seen
we haven't seen one
system.
Yet. Yeah,
and the other problem is the one you're going to compare soonest, it will be Washington, because Prop 22 is something totally different. They made a law, AB 5, that had to be, they didn't get the carve out they wanted, so they had to spend millions. And I said this last night on the roundtable, I'll say it again. The whole country is now subsidizing California and will be subsidizing other states here. I've tried to avoid straight up saying it, but it is a fact. Because these companies can't make money. I know off the books maybe they do a little bit, but the bottom line is, if you got California, Washington, Minnesota, parts of Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, trust me, they don't just they don't have a printing press for money. That part I'm pretty sure of.
Well, that doesn't come standard.
I mean, it should with a gig company, I would think. Dude.
I mean, yeah, just
run
down to the basement, grab a stack.
I mean, and speaking of that too, I don't know if you saw, Tom, but this week Lyft hit. So Instacart's valuation's at $10 billion. Lyft actually hit $5 billion. They're only worth $5 billion now. There was the one article I read.
Who's only worth it?
It was the only one that threw a legit point out there. Said Instacart won't make it to June.
Yeah.
Well, did you say Instacart's only worth $5 billion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Lyft.
Okay.
Lyft is $5 billion. Instacart has lowered all the way down to 10.
I can't believe nobody's actually bought Lyft yet. I seriously can't.
Gary, just hold on. You and I will buy it when it gets down to.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're almost there. Coming back on the radio side, guys. Let me do that in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, TNCRadio.live. Happy to have you with us here on a Friday night. We're simulcasting with our friends from Rideshare Rodeo over on YouTube. So if you want to look at our smiling faces, you can do that over there. If you're out driving, of course, the best way to do that is to listen in here on TNC Radio. And guys, before we get too far, we have to do one quick thing. That's right. It's time for your chance to win $1,000. This is for any of our listeners, whether you're on the TNC radio side or over on the YouTube side. Jump right in right now. Go to TNCRadio.live. Go to the contest page. You can do it on the contest page, or you can do it on the app. Either way, go in and put in your information. We got to know who you are, how people can reach you, that kind of good stuff. They will call you around 1 o'clock on Monday if you're the winner. And you can win $1,000. Today's word, the keyword is payoff. Payoff. That's right. Today's word is payoff.
Playoffs?
No, not playoffs. Payoff.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoff.
I can't get that Jim Moore to be quiet. So, yeah, go in there. Payoff, PAYOFF, for your chance to win $1,000. I want every single person on the YouTube side to jump in right now and get your chance to win $1,000. It's $1,000, dudes. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and everybody on the YouTube side too, you should just open another tab and put TNCRadio.live, let it stream. Minimize the volume, and if you want during the show, pop over there and see what happens when we're on break.
Yeah, that's cool too. So anyway, your chance to win $1,000. If you don't do it, you're just whatever. No. Speaking of which, too, your chance to win. So I'll start with Steve on this one. Steve, do you buy the $1.3 billion lotto ticket? No.
Gary and I tried this. Gary tried for us, and I don't think we got one number right.
Do you buy them, Gary?
No, normally I don't, but we do. Like whenever it gets that high, me and Steve, we go buy them and we see if we can win. We say we'll split them.
We came up with these good numbers too. It felt really good about it. We didn't get one.
Yeah. Well, there's different ways to look at these numbers and lots of different protocols and all that can. Just pick the random numbers. But here's what I didn't know. Okay, the truth is I have not bought a lottery ticket in at least 25 years. And I decided last night to stop and get one. But I didn't know you're not allowed to buy them, at least not in the state of Texas, between midnight and 4 a.m.
Really?
Just guns and booze, huh?
No, well, you can't buy booze after 2 a.m. So, I mean...
Just guns.
Just guns. You can buy guns 24/7. They don't care about that.
You can buy booze up till 2, leave the bar, go get a gun, but you have to wait till 4 a.m.
to buy a lottery ticket. What? Okay, it was about 1 o'clock when I tried.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know this for sure, but I feel like you're in Colorado. You can get them at 7-Eleven 24 hours a day.
I would have thought so too, but no, they wouldn't let me buy one. So. Oh well!
I thought all that mattered was the cutoff for the whatever the time is to get in on it.
Now, I mean, I know people that play like scratchers and they win money all the time. But
well, I guess I could have bought a scratcher, but to buy the tickets for the big, I said I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to buy 5 tickets. And the guy's like, yeah, sorry, I can't sell them to you.
Does he Powerball you though? Like
1.3 billion? He's like, yeah, I can't sell it. I'm like, okay, well, bye.
yeah, all right.
See you later.
Yeah, later. Whatever. So no tickets for me, but I do like to think about what I would do with the money.
I do like to think about that too.
Yeah. It's like, all these great people on YouTube who support us and watch us $1 million cash for each one of them. What the hell? I've got $1.3 billion. Here you go. $1 million for you. $1 million for you. Lisa gets $1 million. Joe gets $1 million. Jeff gets $1 million. So it's fun to think about it.
Wait, I didn't hear my name or
I didn't
Steve.
hear mine either.
Oh, you guys get 10 million each. You're part of.
I would take the whole amount. I'd just offer it to Lyft right now, straight up.
Yeah, you have my ticket. I own you.
Right, I get everything.
They would probably take that deal right now. They would probably take that deal.
Now you want to know
you guys got to pay the tax on the winning lotto too, though.
Have you ever looked up how much you actually get?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, when it's all said and done on 1.3 billion, you only end up with about 700 million.
Right.
But 700 million.
Still a lot.
Yeah, you get 2 Aaron Judges for that.
What is it? What is it? 40%?
It's it's 60% about, and then you lose another 35% of that off taxes. Yeah, no, so it goes from 1.3 billion down to like 200 or 900 million, and then you lose another 300 million or so for taxes. So you end up 600-700 million.
I actually did look this up one time though. If you do take the annual payouts, you do get more money, and it actually goes like if you pass away, it goes to your next of kin. If they pass away, it'll go to their next of kin all the way down the line until that money's paid out.
Well, that's good.
The funny thing is most people I know, and I agree with this. I would take whatever it is.
Oh, I'm taking lump sum
right now.
Lump sum.
Yeah, because I don't trust anything. I don't trust anything. Not just the company. I don't trust that a nuclear missiles are not going off in this.
Yeah. Well, I set up trust funds for everybody else, and we're all going to be living our best lives.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you put the whole thing into interest-bearing stuff, and you never touch it, and let it sit there and take care of your family for generations.
Exactly.
You got a fan.
Love you too, Lisa. you notice you got my first $1 million there, so
that's what I was gonna say. Is that because he mentioned your name first?
Yeah. So okay. So anyway, everybody, your chance to win the $1,000. Roll it in. I want to see those names showing up here real quick.
Yeah, Lisa. I don't think this applies to luxury tax at all, though.
No, I don't.
Like if you go to Vegas and win, you can scatter it around a bit and say you lost some of your winnings, and you can play that a little bit.
There are only 14 states that don't take a portion of it. Texas is one of them, but there are 14 states that will not touch the lotto winnings.
So, but what about the federal government part?
Federal government's going to take their share.
They're going to take their share.
I was going to say they'll bring tanks in for that.
Yeah, but also Colorado, New York, California, they're all going to take their share too.
They'll make Waco look like a house party.
Texas has a state tax though, right?
No income tax. No income tax in Texas. Matter of fact, a few years ago they made it a part of the Constitution, so to even bring in an income tax would take a supermajority of both the legislature and the population to even make it possible to have an income tax in Texas.
See, Florida, we don't have a state income tax either.
Yeah, I do know that because my dad, before he passed away, they got another place down in Florida, and that he transferred his residency there so that he could do his taxes and everything through there.
That's what I did too.
And I even was like, "What are you doing? Why do you have a Florida license? I have your whole life a Michigan license." He's like, "Man, I'm not paying taxes. I'm gonna." He's like, I'm going to wiggle everything I can.
Yep, that's how you do it. Move your business and everything down there. Get a P.O. box in Florida. And
yeah, for him, it was like they're down there 2 to 3 months a year, 9 months in East Lansing, Michigan. But they were like,
it's your permanent residence.
we live down there.
Yeah, the rest of the time you're just visiting Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah. No, and who can blame them? That. All right. So where were we, Steve?
We was talking about that lawyer.
Oh yeah. So so we got this lawyer saying, look, everybody else, other companies, when you are driving and so forth, you're using their equipment. So these guys are getting screwed. But that was the whole deal. That's the whole purpose of doing the rideshare stuff. That's why we do it this way, so that I don't have to be under your thumb. You don't tell me when I'm coming to work. I drive my own vehicle. I do what I want to with my vehicle whenever I want. And if I don't want to be an Uber driver tomorrow, but I want to pick it back up again on Thursday, I can. That's the whole point.
Also, Robin Wansley, who was one of the council members who spoke on behalf of all this, that is a huge union-funded campaign.
Yeah, well,
so I mean, you could put 2 and 2 together on that.
The
unions are just drooling like they are in Massachusetts behind a closed door, just waiting for that door to open.
They're not getting it. This is the end of it. If they win, they lose. It's the end of it.
I hate that it's going to happen to some states. I hope it happens slower in the others, because California, again, has not even been an example for other states to look at. So let's see a couple. I think it's great if just Massachusetts and Minnesota. I feel bad for the people in those states.
Right.
But I almost feel like, great, we need a couple failure states to really bond on this.
And that's what I've been saying all along here. We can't prove that the bottom's going to fall out of this thing until the bottom falls out of this thing. They don't want to listen to us, so let it go.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading some articles. I was talking with somebody yesterday, who the DoorDash hourly pay option is pretty much a test for the country, because they're getting so concerned about Prop 22 type things that they're going to have to integrate, and they'll be on different levels for each state. But they're starting to test this, like, well, what if we just did pay them hourly? And we know how things start on all these platforms, even the ones that have existed. When they're going to put out hourly, this is as much as they'll ever pay hourly, and it's going to go down. And the hourly right now sucks.
Right.
So, I mean, you guys, it's right in front of you how bad it is.
Now, did either of you read this statement that Lyft gave at the very bottom of this article?
Yeah.
The article. What about
the one that says that drivers were actually averaging 35 plus per hour?
Yep. Right. And this is one of those things where the floor and ceiling meet. So if they let's be nice and call it $17 an hour. For Minnesota, that's going to be high. Let's say that they say it's 17 an hour. Okay. Well, it's going to be 17 an hour that you're guaranteed. Maybe, and within a couple months, those people who make 35 and know the times to work, they're going to be making 17 too. And that's where the floor meets the ceiling.
Right.
And then you're going to have everybody making 17. But then guess what? Unlike the other states, California and Washington, Massachusetts and Minnesota, at that point, you're going to have the unions step in and say, hey, we need our cut. But we'll give you union protections. I don't want your union protections. I carry a 7-iron and a baseball bat. I'm good. I don't know. I mean, it's just like I was saying, I don't want to be right, but I'm glad that the things are playing out as I was told, and as I talked about many times with many people, because it shows me that this can fail, and that's what I think the country needs to see.
Yes.
So,
Totally.
I mean, at least 10, I guess I'm saying at least 10 states aren't doing it right now, and let's all see how it goes, which was one of the ways this could have gone. But instead, it's Massachusetts dragging their feet, but they'll go any minute. And it's Minnesota jumping ahead of the pack, and they're going to be like a leader on this with the unions.
Well, but it's not Minnesota, it's Minneapolis.
Right, but that is Minnesota.
Well, I
Twin
understand.
cities are probably what? I don't even know, 80% of the population.
Well, I hear you, but it's interesting to me that this isn't at the state level, it's at the city level, which again,
that's probably where they had the votes.
How much authority does the city have to regulate this kind of stuff? That varies from state to state. The truth is, they may not actually have this authority, and that will be one of the first things that gets played out in court as to whether or not they have the authority to regulate at this level.
Tom, let's look at Washington. Washington did the same thing. It all started just like this in Seattle. Seattle got more money than the other parts of Washington. So if you live in Tacoma, you're not getting quite anywhere near what that huge perk of the Seattle area is.
Right.
It's not like Prop 22 where the whole state's getting it. It's like the whole state's getting it, but you're only getting slivers if you're outside of the Seattle metro.
So looking at this article here, it doesn't say what are they trying to get exactly.
Unions. They're just being very cautious with the wording, dude.
I'm saying, is that the only thing they're pushing for? They ain't pushing for anything else?
No, they're pushing they're pushing for the TNC, the taxi and cab regulations,
right,
which means that's where you get into, and they're only saying rideshare, where it would be like, hey, we need to make sure these people are paid and protected, and if there was another pandemic, that we can pay them unemployment because they shouldn't have been paid that. Well, Minnesota was a leader on giving anybody that could breathe unemployment during the pandemic. So I don't even know what they're talking about, first of all. And that was a federal act. The CARES Act was federal. It was not per state, and that passed in March of 2020, the end of March of 2020. And so all that money was given out to the states, and most of the states abused that money.
Well, I guess
they did give a ton out to people, but I'm telling you, most of the states kept close to half.
Well, what I was getting at is one of the statements here by Freddie Goldstein was they want to deliver a package of benefits that improve the driver experience while maintaining flexibility, as they have done elsewhere. And I was just curious, did we know what they were talking about?
Yeah, well, I think they're referring again. Remember when I said that I thought they were like touring, like bringing people into California going, look how good that works, right. and trying to rush everybody in before the end of the year because they know that thing's going to crumble. But they were trying to get everybody to see it before the San Andreas ate it kind of thing. Like, hey, hurry up, come see this. It's working. Yeah, it's not working. Okay. And I think we even went through that when Dark Road Run. I was talking to him last week and we talked about he was trying to find health insurance, and this is his last year of gig work because he said that I just can't do it anymore, and he's getting into his upper 40s. He said the cost for me to have health care in California is ridiculous. And I said, don't you get Prop 22 money that stipends that a bit though? And he said, yeah, but with the full stipend from Prop 22, and then getting it through Uber or whatever, one of these places. And I think they're using Stride, by the way. I had no idea that was it. It was just
Stride connects to the marketplace is what it does.
Okay, but here's the thing. He can go get Obamacare for at least $100 a month cheaper, just no problem at all. But then he doesn't get his stipend.
Oh, because the government's giving them
he can go get Obamacare without taking the Prop 22 stipend and get it for cheaper than through the gig companies and Stride with Prop 22 money. And all they're doing is reselling him Obamacare in a prettier package.
Right.
So he was like, I'm going to pay $100 a month more if I go get the stipend, use it, and try and get health care. And then if I just got Obamacare.
All right, we're going to take a quick break on the radio side. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Stay right there. All right, guys, this is a 4-minute break, looks like. One of our longer ones.
I'm going to use the restroom.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, my thing is like when I was comparing with him, I said, Joe, because I'm 3 years older than him. I'm 50, he's 47, and he's for California, he said 47. I don't know, because I've never seen this be this much before. And this guy has been actually, Tom, he's been doing a lot of this guy, Dark Road Run, that I'm referring to. Actually, he's been doing a lot. He is an amazing. One day he's going to make amazing movies. And I hooked him up with Tremaine, and he's been helping out Tremaine. They actually started working together.
Good.
So they're kind of doing this thing together, but it's crazy because he's like, I might have to step away from my field altogether, not even just his amazing abilities. But I was like, well, couldn't you go get a foot in the door job as lighting or pyrotechnics, doing something that's in production still? And he's like, no, because I'm gonna get shoved into a union.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, so what I'm trying to accomplish and what I've been shooting for by doing gig work is going to be destroyed.
Right.
So I guess he's one of those cases where you're looking at the long-term goal he's going for, and the gig work makes sense. It's great idea, Joe. But now he's had the carpet pulled out from under him, and now he realized he ate the wrong pill by living in California. You know, I guess what has become very, very clear to me, I know it's been happening for years, but not like recently. I fully understand why it's 5 miles an hour, a straight line on any highway to leave California.
Mm-hmm.
It's bumper to bumper. People are like, screw this. I'm over this crap.
Especially this week. Because before
even if the storms hadn't hit, though, I'm just saying, people, the truckers. I mean, I don't think people are understanding this trucker thing, and I guarantee you, this one isn't going to be. The truckers really hoped that on January 1st, Tom, I'm sure you know this, that they were just going to continue that. Well, you're not carved out, but don't worry about it, kind of thing with AB5. But they didn't. They walked right in and said, "Nope, rug, gone. You guys are fully, all 70,000 of you cannot work unless you are." I was reading a method of how they could like do it though.
Yeah.
And it sounded so complicated and expensive. There's no way.
Yep.
I mean, so they did that's another, I hate it when they do that kind of stuff too. Like a lot of AB5 people didn't even have that option, like some method to almost pay the government to like get a personal carve out, you know, kind of thing. Like, well, if you're willing to do this, really what it is just your state stealing money from you. But, you know, the fact that they were going to give all these truckers the option of, hey, we're going to allow this. But when I read what this was, it was so much money, and like all the insurance, the way they were going to have to carry insurance alone sounded like a nightmare.
Oh yeah, total nightmare.
So
here we go. All right, coming back in 10. And 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, welcome back in TNCRadio.live on a Friday night, where we move away from trucker talk all day long, like we usually do 24/7, and we talk instead about the gig economy. But there's a lot of overlap, as we were just discussing off air, and on the YouTube side. You can listen to us or watch us on YouTube actually right now, simulcasting through Rideshare Rodeo. Just go to Rideshare Rodeo, and we're on right now. So that's all they got to do, Steve, is just type in Rideshare Rodeo. They'll find it, right?
Yeah. It should be the first thing to come up.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. So, so we got that going on. We got about 10 minutes before we get to the top of the hour here. So, Steve, what do we have to discuss in the next 10 minutes or so?
Well, let's. You want to hear about a really good earning day?
I would love to.
Okay, this is a good story. And I know Gary actually had a good story too, and I couldn't remember it last night. I thought I didn't
know.
put two and two together. I thought you were showing up, so I was like, oh no. And I even said to everybody, I'm like, Gary's got a good story. He'll be here. And then they're like, Gary's not coming. I'm like, oh, guess we don't have a good story then. But Monday. So Monday I did, where's my breakdown? Monday I did Curry, and there was a little debate, especially with my audio listeners, about like, well, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of miles, though. But I'm going to throw it out at you guys, see what you guys all think, because I thought it was great. Okay, so on Monday with Curry, I scheduled 2 scheduled pickups. So I didn't used to get as many as I do now. Like the night before, I can go into the Curry app scheduled, and I'll see like 10 to 15. Okay, so I've learned that if they're coming out of this Sherman-Williams or this or whatever, that okay, I know how much paint I can carry. And so if it's going the same direction, I've now got that down. And now that they provide those details, I can look at each one. So if it's like Parker to Aurora and then another Parker to Aurora, most likely I'm going to be even going to the same new subdivision, but it just shows it as a radius. But so I can stack 2 in the morning, and I know I can get just under 500 pounds. I probably could do more, but I'm comfortable with up to 500 pounds of paint in my car. So I went down there, and it was about 400 pounds. One was 58, one was 56, and they were going like 11 or 12 miles. So $114 for about 400 pounds of paint. Now, I had also scheduled, that was for when they opened up at 6:30 or 7. So I had also scheduled an 8:30 back to downtown Denver, not quite my house, but back in the right direction. That was just some fittings. I don't even know, a bunch of fittings in a box. $23 for 4-mile hot shot. Now, that puts me at 137. So then I get a $45 for Ferguson plumbing for 8 miles. I go to pick that up, and it's I don't know, it's like these circular rotor things. I don't know what they were exactly, but I did see that they were all over the warehouse, and then my box was just boxed up and super heavy. So I took that. So that was another $45. So now it's about I left my house. It's been about just 3 hours and change, and I'm at $182. Now, an offer for Colorado or for not Glenwood, all the way to the West Coast, or all the way to the western slope. Why am I drawing a blank? I'll be in a minute. But to Denver, all the way to almost into Utah. It's the last city before Utah in 70. Grand Junction, sorry. So it was Grand Junction to Denver, though. So I'm in Denver. I'm just finishing up these, but I know how to deal with Curry. So I see it. It's like 480, and I'm finishing up the other one. I'm like, oh, I would have maybe taken that. And then I see that I'm like, maybe it'll stay. And so I see 550 come up right as I'm almost done with this thing. So I dump it. I get the 550 bucks to go to take 190 gallons of paint from Grand Junction to Denver. And
$550
but here's the thing, to drive excuse me, to drive 230 miles to pick it up, 230 miles, get it, 230 miles back, 460 miles. So some people were like, well, that's the miles in that ratio. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't do it every day, but once a week, twice a week, these are the ones you take. You jump.
Well, yeah, you're not going to make $550 in a day anywhere else.
Right. No. The main thing people were questioning was the miles. Look how many miles you put on your car. I'm like, dude, they're highway miles. The risk assessment for highway miles is way better than being in the city. I don't buy into that at all.
As I say, once or twice a week, I'd definitely do it. I mean, you're talking about do it twice a week. You made $1,100.
But but here's my thing. I'm in a couple Curry groups on Facebook. So like, they do the same thing as a lot of the dashers. Oh, if it's not $4 a mile, you don't do it. Okay, market to market. And yes, in the city of Denver, I look for $3 to $7 a mile when I'm doing paint. But this is different. I'm willing to do just over $1 a mile, $1 and change a mile the whole way, because that's, I mean, that alone, if I hadn't had the rest of the day, that's a day. You come home, you're done. Boom. Awesome. But now I had that other part of the day. I did this. So 460 miles. I put probably about another 80 miles on my car here doing the first 4 deliveries. So 80 miles, 90 miles, I'm at $182. This comes through 230 miles each way, total 460 miles. Add the 80. Just I'll even say 90. Let's make it 550 miles. I'm at for the whole day, and now I'm at $732
for one day.
for one day. 11 and a half hours.
I know people that barely make that over 7 days.
I know?
Right.
Especially in January.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a math problem we had to do when we were in the 4th grade. Okay, so then Steve drives, or
If Steve is doing 60 miles an hour and he goes 142 miles.
right.
The thing with the big offers on Curry too is you gotta grab them quick. Those ones are not ones to be screwed with. You got to look and say, "Can I do it?" Okay, done, and take it.
Yeah.
Because the big ones will get grabbed. Everybody will kind of break their rules about mileage or whatever, and they'll just see the big number and go, "Okay, wait, I'm doing that."
Well,
like I said,
it sounds like a great deal. I think I think you did wonderfully.
I do too. I mean, like I said, $732 one day of work, one day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I guess what people were pointing out too was 3 hours and you were at $182 local.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that another 3 hours you're going to be up another $182.
I'm going to tell you, and if I had earned more that day, I probably was actually going to be done at the 182 and then come back and do some other work from home.
Right.
But because that was enough for me to be my day. But that's why when it came through, I knew grab this, because I maybe would have seen another courier or two come through in the day, but most likely I would have already come home and I wouldn't have taken them unless they were just so outrageous.
Right.
So because I've learned it's like I did a live stream today for Curry, and to be honest, had some people in there, and I actually used the old term, the early bird gets the worm. I've been having a lot of luck with getting up early and working for Curry. Mm-hmm. You want to take the early schedules and start working.
I still think you did great. I mean, $732 one day, even if it was 550 miles, you was eventually going to put 550 miles on your car anyways. There was no guarantee that you was going to get $732 out at 550. So, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean,
right. And when I do the hourly, dude, I mean, $732 divided by 11 and a half hours. And I mean, like, I'm listening to my music, listening to podcasts, eating my food in the car. Like, I'm all alone, man. So, it's
you're talking about $64.77 an hour.
Yeah. And then I was even going to do the paint, like, so $550, because you only had to do that coming back. So 190 pounds of paint coming 230 miles. I was trying to gauge what the paint was worth per mile. Because paint, man, this stuff, I said it before, it's turned into gold. It is gold.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, we're going to break out on the radio side and do the top of the hour stuff, news, all that kind of good stuff. Again, you can listen to us on TNCRadio.live or watch us live on Rideshare Rodeo on YouTube. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay right there. Okay, guys, we're out on the radio side, so it's break time. I will be back in just a couple of moments.
All right.
I'm gonna put a link in the chat for you guys. Do this to help out TNC Radio, guys. So I'm putting a link to the TNC Radio website that Gary put earlier. But if you click it, open in another tab, just hit mute. Then the listen hours go to both. The watch time hours will come here, but the listen hours will go over to Tom too. But then you can also, if you want to, switch back and forth and see what it's like on the commercials there, because Tom plays some good music during the breaks. It's a different experience for sure.
I just like listening to it to see if my ad plays.
So there it is. All you got to do is go to that. And the other thing is it's nice to become familiar with that. So click that TNCRadio.live and open it in a new tab and just hit play. Or just even look at it, whatever. Just check it out if you guys haven't, because it's not just these 2 hours. Like Tom has a good station. And I know we always say it's a trucker station and stuff, but even the news he says and things like that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on this channel that you guys should be checking out. I don't know, I like it. I mean, like Gary and I were kind of joking, like he has more videos up than me, and he's got on YouTube, and he's got like 32 people subbed.
Yeah, no, I meant to go do that, by the way.
Yeah, I think I've got it in the show notes. I didn't used to, but okay. Do I?
But yeah, definitely need to start plugging that YouTube as well.
Yeah, so, guys, you should be. So I mean, it's not. This isn't streaming over there, but if you don't mind giving a sub to a friend, a good person, give Tom a sub.
Yeah, go sub to him.
You know, I'll tell you this, you're not going to get like hourly bombarded with new videos or something. It's not that kind of channel. It's more like he'll take a podcast for a year's worth and dump them all in a day.
Yeah, he does do that. It's all the same day.
So you'll just get a notification that 172 episodes dropped.
I wonder how many videos he does have up on. He has a ton on this.
He has more than me, I think. Last I checked.
I think he has more than most people.
Yeah.
Like he's like I know one day it just like dropped like a ton.
Yeah. We've been sitting here plugging you, Tom.
Oh, you're talking about us?
Yeah, YouTube. How many YouTube videos you got up now, Tom?
I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah, a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, you need to go into your YouTube. This is important too, and it's really easy, but you need to go into your YouTube, edit your handle name, and take the 2513 out. They did that a few months back. They added 4 digits after the @ sign of whatever you picked. And if you just remove them, it'll let you keep it. Unless like you had a great one. Like Gary, I don't know if you know, but like Bud Soda had Bud Soda. And then they added the numbers, and now he's like Bud Soda Shops. And when you type up Bud Soda, a different guy comes up. Wait, it's weird, man.
Yeah, mine's still
like they screwed him out of his handle.
Where did I make this change?
So you go to YouTube and just go to your about page or your profile.
Yeah, and you hit customize channel.
Just hit, and then you'll just see it and just take the 4 digits off.
Well, I thought it was that one. Maybe not. Let's see.
Even on a phone, any device, you could.
I'm trying to find it right now. I can't find it yet.
If you go to like if you click your channel while you're on, and then you just go to it should be right at the bottom, right underneath, like your avatar should say edit.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't say edit. It says customize channel or manage videos, and I clicked on customize channel.
I get manage Google account. That's what it says right after mine.
Well, it should say manage your Google account, your channel, YouTube Studio, switch accounts.
Not getting that. Oh, your channel, your YouTube Studio. Let's try your channel.
Yeah, it's
customized channel.
Let's see. So when you're at, no, this isn't it though. I did it, like I think it's easiest. Honestly, I think it's easiest to do it on the phone. Because on the phone, you just go to the page and you just, I don't know, you just tap it and you can edit your name right there.
Your channel.
But yes, before somebody else grabs it, yours was unique enough, Tom.
It is a lot easier to do on the phone because on the phone you just hit the little edit icon and then it's right there. It says handle.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Let me bring us back in here on the radio side. I'll work on that a little bit in 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back in TNCRadio.live. It's Friday night. That means it's time for Driver Nation, where we talk about all things regarding the gig economy. And Steve, that was a great story that you had right before the break. Tell me, Gary, you had a great story too that we didn't get to hear last night on Steve's channel. What was your great story?
I gotta pull up what I sent Steve.
Well, first of all, his Donna found it. Donna
Yeah. My wife found the story because Steve put out this challenge. He goes, "Hey, if you guys find a good story, send it to us because it's not that easy."
Right. I said positive story. I said if you can find
the
challenge, Tom, was if you can find a positive story about the gig economy.
Okay, so the title of this article is "Baffled DoorDash Driver Leaves Note for Customer After the Tip Made Him Cry." And then, of course, what happened is the delivery driver went and made a delivery and got a tip, and then ended up writing a letter to the person about the tip. And the letter states, let me see, where's that letter? I'm trying to blow it up here somewhere. I don't know if it'll let me. Okay. Come on. Some of these sites don't work real well. So it says so-and-so's name, my name is, and it's blurred out, and I have been delivering with DoorDash since October due to job loss. I've delivered your home many times, and I recognize your name as it is uncommon. On Christmas Eve, I decided to dash to pay for a tank of gas. I got 3 orders that night. The final order was yours. Your generous tip baffled me. I must admit, I cried the entire way home and held my 3 children very close that night. I told them how important it is to be kind to others and to be generous when you can. That then doing so could make someone's day, and never expect gratitude in return. However, I made sure that they knew to always show appreciation for others' gratitude, and I mentioned your name without any more details. We are so very grateful for you and your kindness. Thanks. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And then the driver signed it. And you go down further, and it turns out that it was a $100 tip on a $60 order. Yeah, so that's a pretty good.
It's a great thing, but oddly is that like sometimes that happens a lot, and then there's people who don't even appreciate it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, to get a letter from that, like most people are like, "Oh, look, I got a $100 tip. Take a picture of it, put it on Facebook."
Yeah.
Never actually thank the person for it. So I actually thought the note was pretty awesome myself. A $100 tip, and especially somebody was struggling so hard.
Wait, what market was he in?
It doesn't say, I don't think.
Oh, really? Well, what publication was it?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Pinterest.
King 9 off.
So I guess that's part of the weird thing I know, because we know people like Nova Dasher and Flex who are up there with probably the top amount of dashes of all people we know. And they see those kind of tips. I don't want to say regular basis, but they do see them. They're not unicorns. They're literally tips you get once in a while. And,
well, I mean, like, there's a difference though between a catering order tip that you get that's $100 and a person's personal order that's $100 tip. Like that's
but a $60 order. I used to think, you know what? I gotta say, I'm a little thrown, because I used to think catering was like true catering. I didn't know it just meant you're picking up food for a bunch of people. Sometimes.
Well, whenever I say catering, I mean actual catering. You go into a business, dropping it off.
Right. But I'm saying, like, some of the ones that people use catering orders for, though, are just large order program, and you are being tipped really good, but you're really just bringing a bunch of bags of food and not doing anything different other than throwing them at their door. It's like,
you better not throw my food at your door if I tip you $100.
I'm just saying, man. Like, people still tip. Occasionally, people tip that kind of craziness, and it's not.
Well, they do because I mean, let's talk about, since we're talking about high tips. Let's talk about your Instacart thing. I mean, not Instacart, dumpling.
No Instacart.
No, I knew there wasn't gonna be no Instacart on there. I just like to throw that out there to see Steve's face. But your Instacart one that you sent me today, it was like, wow, that was a lot for how long it take you? What'd you say, 30 minutes?
I mean, door to door to my house, to the store, do the shop, deliver back to my house, about an hour, hour 5 kind of thing. But bottom line is, I made it a lot of money.
Right, but that was. Can I say that amount? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so you made $78.43 off that order.
Yeah, and it was 42
items.
And it was 42 items. And if you look, I sent you an Instacart order that came in yesterday. It isn't from the same day, but it's from yesterday.
Right.
Or the day before. It's in the last couple days.
48 items for $9.72.
So more items, but
yeah.
even if you look beyond that, it's 48 items, 55 units. So really the units are what items are, because I bought like today, I bought 3 items were the same item. So really it should have been 39 items, 42 units kind of thing.
But also one thing that amazed me about the Instacart picture you shared with me, it also says boost included, $9.72 with a boost included.
Yeah, Tom, there's a person. So this is my Instacart order. Do I have it here?
I got it up. It's $9.72, 1.2 miles, $0 tip, 55 units, 48 items.
So basically all the grocery shopping they need. The store isn't super close to me. So the 1.2 is from the store to the customer.
Right.
It was another 4 miles to the store. Then the 1.2, and they wanted to pay me with a boost included under $10 and make it look like it was something good. This was going to take me an hour and a half.
Yeah, and for $9.72.
Yeah, I'll take my 732 curry day over that.
Really?
Really?
Okay. I don't know why.
I know it's extra miles, guys, but I still am going to do it.
So yeah, but back to the thing. There's a lot of positive stories out there, and hopefully people will keep emailing them to us, so that way we can keep airing them out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think having some kind of ongoing something to have we need to come up with some kind of prize for the most positive story of the week or something like that.
I'm telling you, that not only are they hard to come by, but like when we did that around the holidays, and this was the holidays, nobody found one.
Yeah.
Wow.
We did that challenge for all the panelists around the holidays, and we came back a week later, nobody had one.
Well, we scraped some together.
I know, but it didn't really feel like it. It didn't feel like we were busting down doors. We're like, look at these stories. Like it just felt like, all right.
Like, here's what I found real quick.
Yeah, some guy found a dime. Okay. Like, man finds $5 bill in Wendy's shitter. Oops, excuse me. Radio.
Yeah, I agree, Tom. We need to get some kind of gift or something. People can email us their positive stories that we can read.
Or a point system. Maybe you acquire points over time to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, so we'll come up with something.
So, but I see that Hannibal joined us. What's up? I see Let's Play DoorDash Joe joined us, and Michigan. Jobby Nooner, bro. Happy Jobby Nooner.
Happy what? Jobby Nooner.
Yeah, exactly. If you look up Michigan Jobby Nooner when we're at the break, you'll see what we are talking about. Just talking some Michigan here.
Wait, what was it? Jobby Nooner?
Uh-huh. Like people that work with their hands, Jobby, and then like Nooner.
All right, so I took off the handle piece.
The numbers.
Yeah. So that worked.
Okay.
Now you're
Yeah,
official.
so there you go. So now, so now we need to repost that link.
What now? Oh, for his YouTube?
Yeah, because
I'll
it'll
grab it again.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you guys again go there because you're not going to get you're not going to get bombarded with daily uploads on Tom's channel. When he drops like 150 in one day. like here's a bunch of podcasts. So it won't like be going off in alarms and bugging you or anything. Go give him a sub. You gotta bump up his numbers there.
Go give him a sub. Check out his other channels.
Yeah,
his other videos. Check out all that good stuff on his on his YouTube.
Yeah, we've had a lot of growth. I've got somebody who works for me now who does these in batches. Who, by the way, I hire as an independent contractor. Okay, I don't tell him when to work. I don't tell him
how to do his job.
That his job is to keep my social media stuff up to date. Okay, so this morning I walked in somewhere between 1 a.m. last night and 7 a.m. this morning. He got on the system and loaded a bunch of stuff up on podcast.co or I'd say I don't even know where he put it all, and he does it. And as long as stuff keeps showing up, I'll keep tossing him money, and he is truly an independent contractor.
And I want to add to that because I think this is a good time to add this, that like your example is perfect. So Tom hired this guy as an independent contractor so Tom tells him what he wants. This guy chooses how he's going to go about getting there, what hours he's going to do it, as long as he's meeting the deadlines. But you guys, it's not so black and white. Tom can still interface with the guy and talk to him and say, hey, man, I like what you did, but could you change this, this, and this? He's not in a boss position. He's just saying what he would like. And it's up to the independent contractor to meet that. So it's not like you tell him, hey, I just need you to keep all the social medias up. And all of a sudden this guy's like, well, I'm doing it the way I want. Like there is interfacing that still can happen. So it's not
right.
That's part of the problem of people not understanding IC.
No, I mean, he and I meet. We're supposed to meet every Tuesday at 4:00. We miss half of them. And because I don't really,
it's great.
I don't
that you guys are ICs.
We talk, when we need to, and he'll say, "Hey, I've got a bunch of stuff I'm going to load up tonight. Do you need access to the main? We have a server that's out there, in the cloud." And he'll say, "Do you need the system tonight after midnight?" I'm like, "No, not tonight." So. Then I come in and realize that he's done something. I grab the server back, get control of that, and when he needs to grab it again to do stuff for me, he does it.
Nice.
It works.
So Tom, I know Tom's on Twitter. Or TNC. I know TNC's on Twitter. I know it's here on YouTube now, and it's what other platforms should people know about? I'm not a big Instagram person, but I know you're on Instagram.
Yeah,
but I think you're more like me, and you just kind of do it. But I know that Instagram's big to some people. I need to probably put a little more time into that. I don't know.
And we do lots of stuff with Facebook too. We go where our audience is, and our audience for whatever reason, most truck drivers are on Twitter. Okay, and if you think about it, it makes sense. They don't have time to sit there and read everything that comes up in Facebook or whatever. Quick, short. Here's the information you need. Boom. Now you're done. You're on to something else. I think that makes sense why professional drivers wouldn't have a lot of it. You don't find a lot of truck drivers on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's just not something they care much. You find a lot of them though on Twitter, and some of the groups that we send stuff to have tens of thousands of people who use that group, and they're happy to have us put our information out there, so we do.
Yeah, I think you're right about Twitter. I think what people don't understand about Twitter, because I have two accounts. I have the Uber Lyft Drivers original one, and then I have Rideshare Rodeo. Rideshare Rodeo is about 600 followers. the original Uber Lyft drivers was not far behind Harry, and I'm over 3,000 followers on that one. But like I have mine so tweaked out that I've got groups. So when I log into Twitter, I can go down to the groups, and the way I've set them up is like, okay, these are the people that I follow about politics, and it wipes out all of Twitter except for those people. And they're in that group, and all I'll see in my feed is that group. Then I have a group about this, and a group about that, and a group about that. And that way I see the more relevant tweets to that subject that I'm looking to be involved in. I'm just teaching you guys because a lot of people hate Twitter. These are some of the perks of it. And also the hashtagging of words is really amazing on there, much more than other platforms. Like if you touch, if you're a trucker and you touch trucking, and then you see other hashtags that might interest you, trucking Illinois, and you're an Illinois trucker, you touch that, you're going to get to a group of just people who have hashtagged trucker Illinois.
Right.
And so there's just a lot of ways to optimize Twitter to be something really great, because if you're looking for news and you want it quick and you don't want to screw around, yeah, your Twitter account's going to take a little time to set up and have it be where, because when you first start, it's like you're just getting the generic feed. You're getting a bunch of crap you don't want to know about. And I think that's when people bail, and they're like, this isn't what I want. And it's like, you got to fine tune it. Then it's sweet.
Well, with that in mind, let me do this for a moment. And I'm sorry for those of you on the radio, you won't be able to see this, but I'll talk it through for a minute. So let me share this. Present. Share screen. I don't know which screen is which. Let's go with this one. Nope. Let's go with this one. No, actually, we'll go with that one. All right. Okay, so you can see my screen?
Gary and I can very faintly, but okay.
Okay, now you can see it?
I thought for a second I thought it was the control deck, and I thought you wouldn't want it brought up, but okay.
All right. So this is how we do our shows when we're live. We've got we're pulling in all of this stuff from Colorado Department of Transportation, the Texas Department of Transportation, all the major cities. We have 16 major cities that we track and pull in all of their Twitter feeds, so that we're in the middle of things. So it's say it's a Friday night and we're doing it. We don't usually do this on Friday nights, but it'd be on a Monday morning. We've got a stalled vehicle, I-55 southbound, just before Bayless Avenue in the St. Louis area, up in the northern part of California on I-80. We've got a traffic alert going on right now. A rock slide that has been cleared now from the so it gives you that opportunity. So this is a great way to, where Twitter really comes in handy, where I can track throughout the United States what's going on weather-wise, what's going on traffic-wise, and all that kind of stuff, and be able to give that information out. Because drivers are all over the place. They love this because, they get to find out that, I-80 is closed. They're just inside Wyoming. And so there's no point in going the I-80 way. They ought to take I-70 instead. So that's how we do it. I mean, it works very, very well.
Yeah. I like Twitter. I just think people need to, that's why I put up what Rideshare Lisa said too. That's what she did, but she likes Instagram better. Kind of same kind of idea behind it, but you really have to put in the time to make those platforms worthwhile. Out of the gate, you might go, okay, I'll try, and you might even stick with it and do okay. But if you fine tune it, you could really learn to enjoy it.
Yeah, and what's great is I can bring in anybody who has a radio, if they got any kind of radio background at all. I can bring them in and say, hey, need your help tomorrow. One of my traffic guys is out, and all they got to know is how to, read. And this stuff just pops up one right after another, and you're sitting there going, we're getting the reports now in that I-5 is closed both directions in Los Angeles because of flooding, blah, blah, blah. And you can tell exactly where it is and all that. And this is the kind of information that, our truck driver friends need. And we try to provide. And like yesterday, we had to stop one of our programs and go live and just talk about all the tornado warnings that were going on I-75, I-20, I-85. We had terrible tornadoes going through the southeastern United States yesterday, and we were just trying to keep because they were right on the interstates. When they're out in Nowheresville, Oklahoma, I don't worry about it. But when they're right there on the interstates and the trucks are going to be driving right into it, let them know. You got a severe thunderstorm warning going on right here. Some of our biggest numbers, too, happen in the middle of big storms like hurricanes and blizzards and stuff like that, because we'll stay up all night giving out that information if we need to.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Heidi. And thank you, Cherry. Appreciate those super stickers.
Yeah, that's great. All right. We're going to
thank you for those who just subbed to Tom's channel too, by the way. I just saw 3 or 4 of you did. So
fantastic. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. Hey, we're going to jump out for just a minute on the radio side. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live simulcasting with Rideshare Rodeo on YouTube. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Did you see me put up my fingers like the radio and see it? For you, radio.
They won't. We also need to tell people to go download the TNC Radio app,
or at least go check out the website.
Yeah.
Check out the website first, because you don't want to put you don't want to put an app on until you get a feel for it. But if you like TNC the website, then put the app on, because it's gonna not be as annoying as any website.
Yeah. And a lot of our programming now too on the weeknights is not just, some of it's for truckers and all, but Women Road Warriors, that's for any woman who is trying to make a go of it in the business world. And they'll talk about everything from how to eat healthier to how do you stand up against sexism in the workplace and that kind of stuff, and that's a very sharp show. Southern Route. The Southern Route really has nothing to do with trucking whatsoever. It's about living in the South.
That's what I said when you stepped away, when we were plugging the channel. I'm like, you guys, I know Tom has a trucking channel and this is the gig part of it, but there's a lot more to it. There's a lot, the news alone, that you guys can tune in and listen to Tom and a missed voice on this channel. We used to have another guy, not Jason Thierry, not the Gig Economy podcast. Yeah. He's our buddy too, but not him. But we used to have another guy too that I don't know. Bill's still on the radio station. He just doesn't do this show anymore.
He works on Friday nights now.
Well, how long does football go? It seems like it's year round there, bro.
Yeah, it's not just football. All right, let me bring this here on the radio side. And it's coming back in 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back in. Welcome back in TNCRadio.live. It's Friday night. That means we're talking all things gig economy related. I'm Tom Kelly, along with Steve from Rideshare Rodeo and Gary from Gary's Apps. Guys, thanks so much for being with us. Steve, tell us a little bit about Rideshare Rodeo. For those who are listening on the radio side, may not be as familiar with what you're doing there.
Well, what do you live on a different planet? You don't know about RideshareRodeo.com? What's wrong with you?
It might not.
RideshareRodeo.com. It has 5.5, almost 6 in March, 6 years. The website's been up. Okay. It's got 6 years of news, not one day missed last year that there wasn't a post, and some posts have 10, 15 articles in them. So, there's so much information for gig economy people on the website alone. Then all the social links are there. The YouTube link is there. And even the podcast can be downloaded and played from the website. However, you also can find Rideshare Rodeo audio podcasts on every audio player And actually, one of the things we do sometimes is challenge people. I actually challenge people to always let me know if you find me on any app player out there, so that I can fix it, because I'm on everything, I think. I hope. There goes Cherry. The three of you definitely have a face for radio.
Well, you betcha.
Cherry.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. I used to think it was because of my voice, but then I realized now they were talking about my face.
But I want to take a pulse on the room here right now, because actually they're talking about when we were talking about January slowdown. So, like here's Cherry. Cherry's sitting. He's sitting there waiting for an order. Let's Play DoorDash, who has a full-time W-2, but also does this a couple nights a week and tries to make money in Detroit. It was bad tonight. I quit playing early. He's done. Rideshare Road Warrior Rick on hiatus from the gig economy until February. This is just the pulse of January, but then multiplied by an onboarding like we've never seen. Too these that Market Watch story and the other stories about like how many thousands it would be, but the Market Watch alone, and it could be over exaggerated, but it's saying hundreds of thousands will be onboarded to the gig economy this year because people are quitting traditional jobs, don't have faith in their W-2, need the flexibility.
Yeah, well, but if all that gets taken away by different states and city governments and that kind of stuff, I don't know what they think is going to happen.
And for those that joined us late, I won't jump back into it, but if you go to RideshareRodeo.com and you look at today's article, so if you look at the one that was posted on the 13th, it evolves around Minneapolis doing exactly what we said Minnesota would do for the last 3 months. We've been telling you guys about Massachusetts and Minnesota. Well, Minnesota is going first, it looks like. But they've got a full union behind this. I'll let you guys read about it, and then we can tap into it more on other things because we already talked about it on here. But if you're catching us late, that's a good story to go check out because it's a good pulse on the gig economy right now.
Really.
And people are gonna have to realize though, like April, May, a lot of people quit doing gig work too. Like once they realize they have to pay taxes on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of these people are going to be onboarding between now and then, though, and most of them, I don't think most will now, like today. It's going to be over the next couple months, so I think that they'll be new enough and green enough that, they'll lose some, but hundreds of we've never seen it. The numbers they're talking about, we've never seen, even with the growth of the gig economy. And now they're talking about like 10 times as many as we've seen in the biggest year.
Right, but you also have to. This is why we always tell people to multi-app and make sure you have multiple apps you can do, because most people when they first sign up for gig work, what do they run to? Uber, Lyft, DoorDash. That's what they run to. Sign up for things. Go ahead and start a dumpling. Go ahead and do, curry. Go ahead and do Amazon. Do things that other people probably aren't going to flock to right away.
Yeah. I was thinking one of my approaches for nabbing Instacart customers, because I truly, after I showed you, Gary, that's a decent offer. The one I sent you that I saw on my Instacart.
Well, for your market,
right? For my market, that's a decent offer.
Well.
And to me, that's not an offer. I mean, that's not worth me turning my car on.
Well, I mean, like I don't do Instacart anymore, so I don't know how long.
$9 for an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes plus the gas.
That's what you say though, but I've seen other people say, "Oh, that'll take me 15 minutes."
Random Brian, is a great example. He lives in Austin, and actually, I got to talk to him for the first time on a live, not just in chat, on Lou and Mary's channel. And to be honest, I was blown away what he's making. He's making curry money on Instacart in Austin.
Right.
But we know it's market to market.
That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying you saying it's an hour and a half to shop for 55 units. But I know people out there that can probably do that in 15 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
No, dude. I'm telling you, there are people faster than me, but this is I was telling you, from my house to get to the store, traffic, I just know.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying just to
I
shop
had the
itself.
shop portion down to like 30 minutes when I'm saying that an hour and a half.
Well, so that's just because you have bad traffic.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, even if somebody can shave 10 minutes off, it's still a $9 order. I don't care if you can do it in an hour. It's
what I'm getting at
$9.
is it's a $9 order. If you were already at that store, it's going a mile, and you can shop that in 15 minutes. It's not a terrible offer. That's what I'm saying.
I beg to differ. I mean, $80 on less items today.
Yeah, dumpling is, of course, way better than Instacart, and we always tell people go get your own dumpling account.
So
it's
here
free,
so let me get back to the strategy
requires
portion.
a lot more work.
It does, but word of mouth is big, and I got to tell you, I'm already feeling it. You know, you get one or two guys, and if just try it out. If you get one or two, and you get the right one out of the two that you try, they will word of mouth you. It's already happening for me. But here's another thing: is that one of the approaches I want to take is take the largest Instacart orders, and then I want to take if I just need to figure this out, how I take their list of groceries, and without taking too much time, tabulate what the real price on the groceries was. You paid Instacart price of $90. They actually were $62. By coming with me on dumpling, I can charge you $90. You'll be tipping me a lot, paying me for amazing service. I'll be in constant contact, and you won't have to use this crappy platform.
Is that your commercial?
That's good. No, it's my flyer that I'm stapling to every Instacart order.
Wait, you can do those flyers, like the people that go around and they staple all the Bible flyers and everything. That's what yours is going to be like. This paragraph.
I'm going to have a whole 8 by 11 sheet on every Instacart bag.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, whenever you check out with Instacart, I don't know about now, but they give you a receipt at the register, right?
I don't think Instacart gives you a receipt.
No, not anymore.
I haven't done.
Not
done.
Not Instacart itself. I'm saying at the register, they have to ring everything up.
Yeah, but you're putting it to the Instacart card. So I think that it's ring. Yeah, but they're not going to give me a copy. I think they have some rules and regulations to follow when they're dealing with.
Well, I know whenever I did Instacart 6 years ago, they'd give me a copy too, and the price between what Instacart charged and what the customer actually, or what the store actually charged, was two different prices.
Right, and here's the thing about dumpling, you guys. Like, even the dumpling prices aren't 100%, but we now know that dumpling uses a national average. So if Kroger's has Kroger traditional pasta sauce, they're going to use the national average, so they don't have to go into every database and change everything for every sale and everything going on. And then when you actually do the shop, though, you'll see that if something's on sale, your customer's going to get that on dumpling. They're not going to get it on Instacart. So, because the Instacart model just uses their price. They don't care if it's on sale. They're not going to, I don't know how that works. It almost seems like, again, I'm going to the bots, everything they do, it's just another sketchy feature. But I know it happens on the food platforms too. I know that they don't use the menu prices. So I think it's just a much larger scale with grocery shopping.
All right, guys, I'm going to take a break on the radio side. But before I do, we're going to go out with a bit of a commercial, if you will. This is Bill, who Steve was talking about earlier, talking about Gary and Gary's apps. All right.
Gary'sApps.com is the destination for apps that helps gig workers be safer, more focused, and more proficient. The Maximo app, which is spelled Maxymo, it helps Uber, Lyft, and Grubhub drivers by automatically switching between apps and turning them on or off as needed. For example, if a driver accepts an Uber trip, Maximo will turn off all the other apps that are online, and when the trip is completed, it'll turn the apps back on for the driver. It will also auto-accept or decline offers based on the driver's personal preferences that they set directly in Maximo. Then they have the Driver's Utility Helper app, also known as DUH, which is similar to Maximo, but is only for DoorDash drivers. It as well can help by automatically accepting or declining offers, in addition to showing drivers on-screen information such as the per-mile rate and how long until the delivery is due, which will allow the driver to make a decision quicker when the request comes in. The last app is Flex Alert for Amazon Flex drivers. It takes the hassle out of tapping the screen for hours on end, which can be exhausting, by automatically tapping the refresh button for the driver and then alerting them when a new block appears. This way they can focus on a more important task, driving. Find out more at Gary's Apps, GARYS apps.com for more information and download the apps you need today.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute. TNCRadio.live. Stay tuned.
Gary, did you see the that's Bill, by the way, you guys. He's got a smooth voice.
Yeah, he does way better than I do. I run out of breath and
Well, he's been doing this for 40 years.
Yeah. I know you know this, Gary, but maybe some of the other people don't. Like his nickname is Chopper Bill. So like if you've seen Anchorman, you know, like when they're flying around and doing the news, like traffic looks duff down there, Bill. Like it's like, you know, that's Chopper Bill.
Yeah, that was Bill. Did that for many, many years.
But yeah, so I don't know if you saw this thing about ghost kitchens. Did you see that article?
I wanted to talk about that let's talk about that when we come back.
Yeah,
this is like blowing my mind, man.
Me too.
The fact that they're using Chuck E. Cheese and IHOPs.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about that.
You know, we was talking about that on Rideshare Lisa's Discord not too long ago too, about it pisses us off. Like I get showing. Oh, you know what? I'll wait until we start the segment.
All right.
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
I hear you. And guys, we're going to we're going to come back in about 3 minutes. We're going to go about 10 more minutes and then wrap up about 5 till.
Okay.
Sounds perfect.
Oh, there's even a TikTok about it.
Gary, if there's not a TikTok about it, don't exist, man.
Sure.
People were saying TikTok was going to take things over. It already has. It has every piece of data that's social media on there.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's like, I hate Facebook Reels too, because they're just like content from TikTok now. It's like,
yeah, or else they're like suck you in crap things that are like 11 minutes long. You watch the first 2 minutes, you're like, there's no way I'm watching this whole thing. Like 5 minutes in, you're still in going, okay, what's going to happen? And then like 7 minutes in, you're like, God, why am I still here? And then at like 8, you're getting hope. Okay, we're near the end. This has got to be good. And then it's not.
Right.
I watched one that was doing like some kind of cake with sprinkles and stuff, and it was supposed to explode the cake. Watched the whole thing, bro. No joke. It was like 15-minute long. And then 15 minutes just cuts out.
Yep.
I was so pissed off.
Yeah. There was one the other day that I was looking at that was she laughed so hard she nearly wet her pants, and it was somebody who surprised her at the front door and all. It was 8.5 minutes of them trying to get the costume right for this thing they were going to do at the front door. Then they rang the doorbell. She opened the door and the thing cuts off.
That pisses me off.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, there's 8.5 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back again.
Can you imagine how many minutes a day we waste watching them dumbass
Hey,
videos?
do we know, honestly, we know gig workers all over the country, but do we know any well, or are there any YouTube people we know that live in Minnesota?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
Why would they?
I would love to know if any of you guys are in Minnesota.
Why?
Because I'd like to start having a more open line of communication about what's going on over the next several weeks.
We just call these guys over at the, because they represent all the Uber and Lyft people. We just call them.
Yeah, the mud. What you call them?
The mud faces.
The mud faces.
Yeah. The muddles.
Yeah, we should start like voicing our complaint. Do you live here in the city?
Wait,
No.
how come we don't have an association? Everybody else has an association.
Like the We Hate You.
Yeah.
Screwing with Things Association.
Don't mess with me association.
Right. Like stop wrecking things, stupid. See, that's the SWTS Association. Stop wrecking things, stupid.
Association.
Gang.
Gang. You can go around kick everybody's ass. Start throat punching these.
All right, guys, here we go. Coming back in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, TNCRadio.live. Right before we went to break, Gary, we did Bill's update on your take on what you were doing over there on Gary's apps. A little bit different than the one you heard before. Just kind of got it cleaned up some and better sound behind it, that kind of stuff. So what do you think?
Oh, I like it. Like I said, he does a lot better job than I can do in trying to throw out that whole, I think it's like 4 paragraphs that I wrote for it. And, like when you try and throw it all out at once, like live, I'm trying to read it and not mess it up, but also try not to run out of breath at the same time.
Right.
So, yeah, he did good. He did good.
Good. And we're going to have a shorter version of that's running on air. We're updating a whole lot of imagers here right now. So sometime in the next week or 10 days, we'll have that one updated along with a bunch of others on TNCRadio.live.
What was the runtime on the new one?
On that one that we just ran?
Yeah.
Give me a second. I will tell you. It was 1 minute and 26 seconds.
That's pretty close to the one you made, right?
To one I made, yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, Gary did the animated one.
Yeah, the animated one, it's like 113 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, but you can take this one and do whatever you want to with it, Gary.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll drop it over to you.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I gotta do another one for Steve too. He wants one that's less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing too with yours. Is I gotta get them under 60 seconds for some of the stuff we're doing. But guys, we got about 8 minutes left. You've had a chance to talk about each of your things that you've got going on. So what else do we want to do with our 8 minutes that are left here?
Ghost kitchens.
Let's talk ghost kitchens.
Ghost kitchen. Yeah, ghost kitchen. So I read this article that's out here in uberliftdrivers.com, uberliftdrivers.com. Make sure that you check this for all your best stuff there. Look, this ghost kitchen thing is freaking me out, and the thing that freaks
Are you scared? Are you scared?
It's freaking me out, man.
Freaking me out. But the thing that scares me the most about this is that people would order Chuck E. Cheese pizza to be delivered. Wouldn't it be simpler to just get a piece of cardboard, put ketchup on it, and eat it? Because that's basically
maybe that's part of the reason for these multiple name ghost kitchens coming out of the same location and address. Like, yeah, let's have Chuck E. Cheese, let's have Bill's, and let's have Steve's Pizza all in the same location. That way people can think they're getting different stuff.
Yeah, but who would think that Chuck E. Cheese has good pizza? I mean, oh my gosh.
Well, that's why they don't order from Chuck E. Cheese. They order from Steve's Pizza.
Which is Chuck E. Cheese,
I don't like Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, you can just we can order you from Steve's. Oh, can you transfer me?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, I'll take your order.
Yeah.
Steve's Pizza, how may I help you?
They just hand it off to a different coworker. That's what it is.
I mean, but I found the the one example that's pretty clear cut. There's no two ways around it. They even say, yeah, that's right, is the Super Megadilla and Thrilled Cheese. And so these are two ghost kitchens that operate out of IHOP on the same address as IHOP.
Yeah, I think we should establish that if nobody knows what a ghost kitchen is just another name for another restaurant. Like IHOP is called, Super Megadilla or whatever it is.
Or
It's the
thrilled
same
cheese,
food, just a different name.
or
so
IHOP.
right.
It's called all three.
Right. You know, and we was talking about this yesterday on Rideshare Lisa's Discord channel. As a driver, this pisses me off because I'm looking for, the address is in there. I'm looking for, thrilled cheese as I'm driving down the road, and I keep pulling up, and it's not what it is. And then I got to go get out of my car and go into the restaurant and say, "Hey, is this thrilled cheese?" And it is an IHOP.
Yeah.
It's just like, tell the driver. I get if they're doing it to the customers, show the customers thrilled cheese, but as a driver, I'm trying to pick this stuff up. They should tell me the actual name of.
But what all they're doing, like we have a place here that does. I think that we were even going to go there, but we went with the driven somewhere else. But that does Denver Biscuit Company, Atomic Cowboy, and they do New York sliced pizza, all out of the same location. And they kind of like, when the kitchen closes for Atomic Cowboy, the bar, the restaurant, then the pizza place opens up all night. When that closes, everybody leaves the bar and the pizza place, and Denver Biscuit comes in and runs breakfast. So they've got it going 24 hours a day. These are cheap knockoffs of that. This is not the same thing. These are not established businesses. These are like DBAs, doing business as. So it's like IHOP doing business as Super Megadilla, doing business as IHOP, doing business as Thrilled Cheese, because I think it makes it look like there's 3 locations in that area. But yet all 3 of those, if you're choosing between them, you're really just choosing the same place.
Well, and I don't think it's not even that. I think it's just like whenever I pull up a menu, I don't want IHOP.
Right.
Yeah. But if you show me something like, and I'm just going off of this, thrilled cheese, and it's, pictures look good,
I might just try IHOP pictures.
Well, I know, but the pictures look good. We all know the pictures never match the actual food anyways. I mean, I've never seen any pictures match the food, but they look good. So you're like, okay, yeah, let me try this place. And then you get it and you realize it sucks. Well, now thrilled cheese is on your list too, because you're like, this sucks. And then you come to find out it's just IHOP. Well, that's why it sucked.
Right. And then you're calling them and you're like, man, I didn't order IHOP for a reason.
Right.
Because I didn't want their grilled cheese, and now I'm eating an IHOP grilled cheese.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm scared of this. I think this is
false advertising.
At the very least, it's false advertising, and I think it's worse than that because it's unethical on just so many levels, right? I mean, you're telling me that it's a bait and switch thing. I mean, how can this be legal in any state? It seems like to me every state attorneys general ought to be jumping in on this and making sure this isn't happening. Well, what Steve described, I don't mind. Okay, right. It's front. Everybody, right. It's 3 different places. It's 3 different restaurants housed in the same place. I actually find that kind of brilliant.
Yeah, because they're optimizing that rent for every minute that they're paying it.
What a great idea.
Right, but they're also not passing off a different name.
No. And in fact, it's different workers that come in and do
different food, everything. Yeah. So, I'm behind that too.
Yeah, no issues there, and everything's above board. This is stinky.
Right, like I'm going to give 2 more examples. Like Applebee's, I hate Applebee's. I hate them for everything that
always have.
They're right, but not just the food, not just the way it is. Being a bartender, I have never seen worse bartending in my life. It's almost like those are the people who actually took the time to go to bartending school. I mean, guys, and if you don't know better and you've ever thought about it, don't go to bartending school. Just get a job in a bar. They'll train you. But if you were to ever walk into my bar and say I want a job, and I went to bartending school, every person on my staff would be on the floor laughing. Like, they're looking for experience. We don't care if you went to bartending school.
Right.
But so Applebee's has a horrible name with me. I hate it. So I don't want to see, what is it? Cosmic Wings.
Right.
Okay, I'll have Cosmic Wings instead. Well, they're just Applebee's wings.
Under a different package.
Right.
Yeah, under that name because they know their name sucks. And then it's the Burger Den is Denny's.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem like the ethical thing to do, and I hope that this gets a lot of attention and that states make sure that this doesn't happen. It's a ripoff. It's unethical.
Oh, 100% agree.
Yep.
All right. Hey, guys, time to wrap things up here, at least on the radio side. Really appreciate you all being with us tonight and spending some time with us. Hopefully you had a few laughs. You learned a few things. We love doing this show. We'll be back again next Friday for another edition of Driver Nation right here on TNCRadio.live, simulcasting on YouTube with Rideshare Rodeo. Stay tuned next for Rideshare Rodeo. We do a couple hours of Rideshare Rodeo each Friday night. For those of you who maybe haven't heard it before, want to know more about it, jump in, take a listen, and if you like it, go over and subscribe to it and start listening. You can hear podcasts. How many podcasts you get out there now?
Yeah, and so first of all, for those that do watch the YouTube stuff, this is the audio podcast that he's about to play, and so I've now dropped 190.
Wow!
So I'm almost to 200. That's a big number for me, and I think that I'm going to have 150,000 downloads when I get to 200. If I stay on trajectory. So I'm pretty pleased by that. If those of you that have seen people put a video out on YouTube that gets 400,000 views, it's not the same thing. The audio podcast download world is totally different. Yep. It's quite a big number. I'm pretty proud of it. And thank you for all your support, everybody.
It really is. All right, guys, we're out. TNCRadio.live. Good night.